The New York Knicks just came away with a big time win, and I'm not saying that because they beat the Charlotte Hornets, who were missing 3, 4, 5 starters out of the lineup today. I think Brandon Miller was the only starter actually playing, but this felt like from the very beginning a trap game on the road in Charlotte, in this NBA in-season tournament type of situation. It just felt like everything was going against the New York Knicks, but they continue to just find ways to win basketball games. And in my opinion, I feel like they're like in the center of a storm, the eye of a storm. They're ready to break out. We're maybe just a few weeks away from going on a massive run. Now, in this video, we're going to break down a ton of film, and I love to start off by showing you how good and how intense this team is in transition. Whenever you can move the ball up the floor very quickly, you get this sense of urgency and panic from the defense. So for example, we're going to see the opposing big drop so far into the paint because they have so many guys in Mikal Bridges or Jalen Brunson or Josh Hart or OG Anunoby. These guys are so good at getting downhill and attacking the basket. So a lot of the times during transition, you'll see the opposing big drop back just a little bit further than he needs to. But on the other side, when you have Karl-Anthony Towns, you cannot drop back into the paint. And if you do that, you're going to give up an open three. And here goes, Cat wide open, gets it to go. This is what I'm talking about when we watch the New York Knicks. The versatility of having guys who can get to the paint, forcing the centers to drop back further than they should, but also having that big, just like the Celtics or, OKC with Chet Holmgren, right? There's not a lot of teams that have 5 guys who can shoot the ball very, very well, but the Knicks are just starting to find their true identity. And yes, this was not a pretty game, but you're starting to see it's really going to pay off here in the next couple of weeks, months, leading up into the late season. This team's going to go on a big run. I can almost promise you that. Now, before we dive into the video, before we break down a ton of film of my favorite plays from this game, early video, today game just ended, do me a big time favor. One, hit the like button if you want more Knicks videos, but also happy Thanksgiving, guys. No, it was yesterday. Hopefully you guys did, have an amazing day watching football, spend time with some family. I hope you guys had a great time. But with that being said, let's kind of dive into this game and break down some of my favorite plays from this one. All right, here's another play. So another fast break situation. Now, right now, we're going to get a high screen and roll from Jericho Sims and Mikal Bridges. Now, when we do this, you're going to draw, like we say, every single video, you're going to draw either the weak side rotation or even strong side rotation as well. This is where, if you're a ball handler, you need to be able to read and react to what a defense does. So get to the point of attack here. So we're going to get this high pick and roll. Once they overcommit to the screen, you're going to get your rolling big man. You want to read what this defense does. Do they weak side rotate, or do they strong side rotate? Do they double team off the screen, right? What is this team going to do? Now, specifically right here, he's going to do a no-look pass. He's going to notice that the strong side defender and Cody Martin is going to hedge to the middle of the floor just so he can guard this rolling big in Jericho Sims. But the mistake he does is leave Jalen Brunson open. Either way, you're going to make a mistake because you're either having a wide open roll to the basket for a big, or you're getting a 3-ball slightly open for Jalen Brunson. Mikal, no look pass, and Brunson has the ability to stop and pop. No need to dribble the ball. I mean, this is huge. And again, just a slight no look pass gets Cody Martin to overcommit to it. Weren't able to get back into the play. And Brunson, such a threat from beyond the arc. Now, I love how this team is already starting to play a very team-oriented basketball, right? So right here, we're going to see Towns actually communicate with Campaign. He's going to say, all right, I'm going to come set a screen here. And a lot of times, we're going to notice, look at all these guys ball watching, right? Everyone is just staring at the basketball, not really paying attention to their guy. So when this happens, that's when you want to get a slot cut. That's when you want to get an off-ball screen, right? This is when you can really take advantage of a defense when they're not really paying attention. So Towns is going to be like, okay, I'm going to set a screen. Hey, watch Miles McBride. He's going to go up, set that screen. Now, once Misic, I believe his name is, notices, oh man, a screen's coming. Campaign already gets that ball out. No rotation from the defense. And another big-time shooter, Miles McBride, wide open there. And again, I think something that people need to take into account here is, guys, we are how many games into the season? I mean, the Knicks are 11-8, so they played 19 games with a brand new team, Mikal Bridges and Karl-Anthony Towns. It's going to take them at least another 2 months to reach their full potential in terms of team chemistry, and most likely, you won't see them play their best basketball until next season. Let's just be quite honest. You need time to build that team chemistry. Not saying they can't win a championship this year, because if I'm being honest, I think they can, right? But right now, this is nowhere near close to how good they can be and how close they will be. But again, the team chemistry, it's already building at an insanely high rate. Before we head any further to the video, like I said before, hit the like button if you want more Knicks videos, but more importantly, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you're new. It is free. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and we will be covering the Knicks throughout the entirety of the season, which means offense, defense, individual player breakdown for almost every single game this season. We got you guys covered. Join the family, turn on post notifications, and let's get right back into the video. All right, here's another one of my favorite plays from the game. So right here, we're going to, outlet it over to Karl-Anthony Towns. He's going to be our main facilitator on this play. We're going to go set an off-ball fake screen here for Mikal Bridges. He's going to look like he's going to come off it, but then go back baseline without using the screen at all, which forces a little bit of confusion for the on-ball defender and the screener's defender here on Jalen Brunson, right? So let's get through this a little bit. Kicks it over to Karl-Anthony Towns. Now right here, he's going to act like he's going to go set this screen. You see Mikal kind of fake like he's going to go over, but then actually go back around, go baseline, and then this is going to force Brandon Miller in a tough spot. Do I drop back and play that cut, the backside cut by Mikal Bridges, or do I stay on Jalen Brunson, right? So once he overcommits, he cuts to the baseline. Now watch Towns here. He's going to look over to Mikal, which forces Brandon Miller to step back 1 second. He's going to quickly throw it out. Not enough time to get back into that closeout of Jalen Brunson. And again, just a beautiful play here, man. They're running screens with everybody, which is something that Boston does too, right? I mean, not saying they're copying Boston, but if you look at a team like the Celtics, the Knicks are probably the closest team in the NBA in terms of resembling what they're doing with the 5-wide spread offense, no centers in the paint. So we're going to get open layups, and if the center does drop into the paint, we're going to get an open three. That's literally the offense here for the Knicks. I know they're not taking nearly as many threes as the Celtics are right now, but I guarantee you, pretty soon they will be, and this is just a phenomenal play here. Fake off-ball screen here for Mikal Bridges. Go baseline, draw two. Brunson open three. Let's go, man. It's fun. All right, and here's probably the toughest thing to guard in the NBA. The high pick and pop, or the high pick and roll with Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. Whenever you get this motion, specifically whether he takes it or doesn't take it, you're going to draw a rotation again from the weak side, maybe even from the strong side. But once you get all these defenders kind of staring at the basketball, this is when, an OG Anunoby or Josh Hart over in the corner, this is when you need to cut to the basket. Either or, right? Someone stay at the three-point line and someone cuts to the basket, because everyone is not paying attention. So he's actually not going to use a screen. The on-ball defenders are going to overcommit, trying to get over. They're going to hedge over as well with, Diabate, I think his name is. But once we get that, we get a stagger over by the rookie, and then OG Anunoby's actually going to cut to the basket. You're going to get weak side rotation here by Brandon Miller, which means we have an open three ball, and then we have a cutter to the basket who's probably going to get to that backside dunker spot as Brunson's driving into the lane. This is just, how do you stop this? Because right here, not only do you have an open guy underneath the basket, you also have an open corner three to the left side as well. Jalen Brunson is going to just, dump it off to OG, who gets a nice little easy dunk. I believe he's one of the only players in the NBA right now who has, or not this season, but last year, with 100 dunks and 100 threes or something like that. I heard some stat like that during the game. Someone let me know in the comments down below, because that could be completely wrong. But another really good play here for the Knicks. It's really tough to understand what they want to run, when they're going to run it, and how to stop it. It's really difficult, and you can see it almost every single game when they run that high pick and roll with Cat and Brunson. All right, here we go. Another high pick and roll opportunity, but this time it's going to be with Josh Hart. Now, you have one decision, right? If you're this, on ball, if you're the screener's defender, you have two decisions or one decision to make, but you have two choices, right? You can either hedge over and stop Jalen Brunson from doing anything, or you can actually just stay on your guy who's most likely going to leak out to the three-point line or cut to the basket, whatever it may be. Now, this is a very tough decision because Jalen Brunson is one of the most deadly scorers, playmakers running downhill, right? So when you overcommit, he's going to be able to find the open man. But when you don't overcommit, you're going to give him an open lane to the basket, and that's exactly what they do here. Brunson kind of already has that leverage on his on-ball defender. No one's really going to help out too much. You have this guy staggering over, but doesn't do too much to get in the way. This right here is the toughest thing to stop. Jalen Brunson going downhill because he has a little stop left-handed push floater. He's got a right-handed floater. He can finish over bigger defenders. He can stop and pop for a mid-range. He can step back for a mid-range. The dude is so crafty around that painted area, and when you run this high pick and roll, I think the only option you have is to get the ball out of his hands, which means fight over and hedge over, right? Once he comes off the screen, he needs to have two guys on him at all time. I know that will give you an open three for Josh Hart or even an open lane to the basket for Josh Hart, but the one thing you don't want is Brunson running downhill with the guy to his hip. You don't want that, man. You don't. And this is why a lot of teams, even you got a low defender, right? Weak side low defender down here. It's still, you cannot stop this man. Now from there, they were able to just kind of close out this basketball game, which is really good to see. Again, this felt like a trap game, missing 4 or 5 starters. The Knicks should be able to win by 35 points, but able to only win by a couple or 1 point. I believe it was 99-98. Again, this is the definition of a trap game and ended up coming out here the W. Don't think I'm sitting here saying that this was a big win because who they beat, but more importantly, it's just the chemistry and the rapport that they continue to build as time goes on, and that's what's important to me right now is just getting these wins, getting something to solidify the team going forward. And I thought this was, again, not a staple of what they're going to be, but, a stepping stone in the right direction, I guess you could say. Winning those tight games that just feels like you can't win, those are the ones that mean the most, if I'm being honest. So do me a favor, guys, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, turn on post notifications. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next Knicks update. Should be maybe even tomorrow, we'll see. Peace.